What's up?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Monday Night Live with Dr. Deb and Dr. Joe.
Super excited about tonight. These are long-term friends, patients of ours that we've gotten to know over the many, many years, watched their kids grow up. So we are super excited to have you guys on tonight. This is exciting. When my wife said, I have the perfect family for this, I was like, nailed it. Great.
Yes. So tonight is our pillar on health. So health is a very important part of life. So we've dedicated a pillar just to it. And this couple, John and Ruthie Norton, they epitomize of what it is that a family should be doing. Look at that. What a family should be doing, because, you know, we have a lot of families that come in our office for many, many years. And we see way too many of these families running like their hair is on fire and put all of their time and energy effort into one or two things. And you guys have shown what it means to prioritize physical fitness in a fun way with your family like I've never seen before. And so John has been working for Garden of Life for the last 17 years. And Ruthie has been homeschooling her kids, and in a way like I've never seen most of my mom's homeschooling. She takes every part of it so seriously that she's taking her kids where they need to go. She's teaching them on every level, including the physical fitness side, which she's really learned herself how to take super seriously once she gave as a gift her husband, who's been into sports athletics his entire life, for their anniversary 4 years ago, said that she would do the Spartan race with him. And we watched her go through that. It was a lot of training, a lot of hard work. And the thing that I love is that once it was over, you didn't fall back off the other side. You kept with it. And I'm so proud of you. And we're proud to call you our friends and really colleagues, in a sense that we really rely on each other for a lot of healthcare information. So welcome, John and Ruthie Norton.
Wow, thank you. Wow, that's I feel like I need. There's a lot of pressure now.
You should hold up the Golden Globe right now and just go back.
And we're out. Good night. Hope you enjoyed it, everybody.
So the reason why we invited you guys on is because we would just love for you to share with our families that are watching and individuals without kids. This is good for everybody. Why, what are some of your core values? Why is health important to you, and fitness, and how does that fit into your life?
Sure. I mean, I guess I'll start because, as you read in the bio, Ruthie kind of jumped on this journey a little bit later than I did. I just grew up playing sports, played football, played up through my freshman year in college. When I stopped playing football, I was always in sports, and transitioned into active outdoor experiences like rock climbing, backpacking, things of that nature, canoeing. Got into, as I got a little bit older, into adventure racing. So I just have always appreciated being able to go out and do hard things, whether it's working in the yard or whether it's running a Spartan race or going mountain biking or whatever it is. And I think that Ruthie just kind of saw that after a while, and to a certain point, she said, you know what, I want to stop being a spectator and I want to get involved. But really, my why comes from my experience of just growing up, always being active. But as I've gotten older, I know part of your 7 pillars is spirituality, and that lays the foundation for our life and our family. When we put God first, others second, ourselves last. And to put God first means to say, hey, He's given us this body. He's given us the ability to impact the world around us through a physical presence called a body. And if we're really to make a great impact on this planet for His glory, then I need to do it through this physical body. And it can be either weak and broken down, or dull and rusty, or it can be sharp and effective. And fitness for me is one way that I stay sharp and effective physically, and it spills over into other areas of my life. When I'm disciplined physically, I'm disciplined in many of the other pillars of health that you guys talk about. So does that answer the question for my why a little bit? And to add one more to that, I believe that physical health for me and our family, it's not for everybody, and everyone's that can't say this for themselves, but our conviction is that physical health is a spiritual responsibility. So when you put that into context with our relationship with God and how we relate to each other relationally, and the intellect, the professionalism, it it starts to kind of making sense now. It's not just a fad for us. And what I talk to people all the time is, don't start a fitness journey just to look good during the summer, because you have a high school reunion, or because you want to drop a dress size or waist size. That's a strong motivator for only a short amount of time. But if you connect your physical fitness to something that is identifiably part of your foundational way that you look at life, then you're looking at something that is more connected to the long term. When you want to be when I'm looking ahead thinking, I want to be a great grandfather, an excellent grandfather, and an excellent great grandfather, someone who still is mobile. I have to start that. I have to become that great grandfather now. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Totally.
This is what we talk in our office. You guys know this. This is one of the many reasons why you've been with us under care for so many reasons, because you do understand that if you wait to fill your bank account with money when a crisis shows up, you're in trouble. Right. And your body, we always call this the temple of your soul. If you wait to fill it up and to make it strong, once that crisis shows up, it's definitely too late. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, for me, like you said earlier, I didn't come around to this until about 4 years ago. I mean, John and I have been high school sweethearts, so I've known him since he was an athlete in high school. And
I'm still an athlete.
Just
an older athlete. Just an older, aging athlete. Yeah.
Right. So, and I have loved being by his side, but I've always been a spectator of that fitness and that enthusiasm for fitness. I mean, I've done it, off and on in phases, but it really was never something I believed in deep down that I needed to do. And 4 years ago, our 20-year anniversary was approaching, and I had been to watch him at some Spartan races and watched our older son, Ethan, at Spartan races. And we have a younger son as well. And it just dawned on me, I'm tired of just watching this. These are my boys. These are all my boys out there. And I want to be able to do these things with them, not just watch them. I want to do it with them. And in doing so, it will connect us on a totally different level than we've ever connected before. And at the same time, I will gain their respect in a different way than I've ever gained their respect before. But I wasn't fit at all at the time. And I thought, okay, so John's been wanting me to do stuff like this with him for a while. So as a gift to him, I'm going to commit to this race, which is going to require me to train for 4 months, which selfishly, the part of the gift that was for me selfishly was, I know that I will, in that training, I will create a habit for myself that will go on after that race is over. And we definitely accomplished that goal. And I also told him, look, it's our 20-year anniversary. We got to do something adventurous and fun and prove that we're still young and,
we still got it.
We're a team, we can support each other. And this is the perfect thing to do that. And so that's what happened. I spent 4 months doing what I did not want to do.
Good days and bad days.
Right.
But the bad days started to drop, and her excited days about going to train started to rise.
And I knew what my goal was. And I knew I was giving that gift, not just to him though, but I was giving it to myself
and
ultimately and the boys. And so it worked. The plan worked because ever since then, I haven't looked back, and it created in me those habits. So that was what started it for me was, and then ongoing, my why is definitely being the best mom and wife that I can be requires me to be balanced. And if I am, like you said, if I am running around just crazy all the time, as far as, multitasking this and that, and really putting everyone and everything above myself, I am not going to be the best mom and wife that I can be. And it is really, really challenging to carve out a space of your time as a mom to put yourself first. That's true, like just to get a shower in the day. much less to go and actually have time to work out. So you really have to be creative, and we'll get to the practical side later. But for me, my why is to be the best mom I can be and best wife I can be requires me to take that time to go out. And I call it, in my mind, I've never really said this out loud, but for me, it's escape, release, and refuel. So, and that's what it really feels like I'm doing. It feels like I am escaping. And sometimes it feels like I have to escape. Like it is, that's the only way I'm going to get out of here is if I literally escape. And
she runs away, literally. She grabs her tennis shoes and she runs out the door. I'm just telling her, all right, just tell me you're coming back. Right. Never, I'm out.
But I've learned that is the pattern that brings benefits. And it's okay as a mom to allow yourself that escape. And I will say this though, escaping takes planning. So you do have to plan a little bit ahead with your husband, with the rest of your family. And there has to be this understanding among the family that mom needs this. Now, of course, dad needs it too. And there should be planning for how he's going to do it. And the kids need it. And you should do it as a family. But I'm just talking about for me as a mom, I do have to plan it, how it's going to happen. And sometimes it's last minute. But it definitely helps that John is on the same page with me. So if I say, honey, I've got a 30-minute window of time, dinner's in the oven, I'm running to the park and I'm going to go for a run. He's like, go, I got it. I got it taken care of. But that's because we have that common long-term goal where I need to be balanced so that I will be a better wife and mom. So, that's my why is to be who I need to be for my boys, not just now, but like John said, when we're grandparents, I want to be out there hiking and walking and running and doing all the things that my little grandsons are doing, or granddaughters. Sorry, I'm used to having boys around. I don't want to be sitting on the sideline. I refuse to be that if I can help it.
People don't realize that though. They don't realize that. That's one of the many reasons why we have all of our patients set goals. The very first day you come in, you are required to set goals with us because people are in the here and now. They're in the moment. Actually, it's the craziest conundrum.
They're surviving. Everyone's in survival mode where they're up to here. They come into your office and they're just like, throw me a lifeline. And, you guys give them more than just back pain relief or an adjustment, or you give them so much more than that. And that's why we've, stuck around for as long as we have, because I like to look at our treatments with you guys as almost like our own personal physical therapist. The boys are athletes. I'm an aging athlete. Things don't work like they used to, or I don't recover quite as well. So going in and saying, hey, I've been throwing a lot of pitches at batting practice. Can you just get that hammer thing and like hit in here in my shoulder for a bit? Now, but that's why, because I want to be able to throw with my grandsons, So, but yeah, hopefully you've noticed that it's much deeper. Our why goes deep to who we are, and that's the key to finding long-term success. It's not this superficial, I want to drop a waist size or I want to drop a certain number of pounds. Because what do you do when you don't reach your pound goal, or what do you do when you reach it? Do you keep going, or I just say, I'm just going to plateau now, I'm good? But when you connect it deeper to something that's at the bedrock of your identity as a human being, then that's when it becomes a lifestyle, a life choice, and a lifelong determination.
Yeah, I think in today's world, with so many people just online, video games, and kids not outside like they used to be, and it's just a different lifestyle. Where I used to get in trouble for not coming home. Now, you get in trouble for not going out. Like it's just 180 of the whole process.
Yeah.
So, I'm always worried about the next generation. And for me, this whole thing has been really about that. It's like, what's going to happen next? Like, okay, we're here now, and we're in this transition of period in time, especially in the health world. I mean, all 7 of these pillars are really being challenged as we go through, I think the next 10, 15 years. And health is probably on one of the top lists of all this thing. I mean, we just understand statistically we are declining as a healthy nation. the rates in which disease, autoimmune disease, autism is skyrocketing. In my opinion, that is the true pandemic in this country of those disease processes. And so, when it comes down to grabbing your kids and going out there and then getting them involved, and I think it helps to happen as a grassroots effort. But let's say it isn't, right? How do we get our kids off the couch? And honestly, and I'm saying this respectfully to everybody, but our kids are lazy, right? They're lazy. And how do we help our kids not be lazy? Give us some words of wisdom of how we can help motivate them through that.
Well, I do want to throw, if you guys will, in this conversation, take us down the path of what the two of you have done to get yourselves out there and get your kids and other people involved, doing something that you love and have fun doing.
When it comes to the kids, I don't know what it's like to have daughters, but I know that when you have boys, that they look to dad and see what dad does. And for a few brief years, they want to do what dad does. So my goal was always I need to model well during those formidable years where they still, will follow my instruction and want to be like dad, and give them a really good example that they can always look back on. So for me, I look back on my dad. He had me in regular organized sports. And so my boys are going to be in regular organized sports. My dad did yard work, and he had me doing yard work. So my boys get out and do hard work in the yard, and seeing that model. And I think that's the most important thing, is that dads need to model it for their sons and for their daughters and for their wives. And it's not just on the dad, but that's my role to play in the home. And so I need to model it. So when they are signed up for organized sports, I'm an assistant coach. I'm there. I'm talking to them. I make it a father-son out of the ball field experience. And yeah, sometimes we butt heads and tensions rise, but overall, I'm engaged with them along the way in an athletic environment. For our sons, it's been baseball. And so they obviously want to play well. They want to play positions that they want to play. And I teach them, well, hey, if you want to play shortstop, or if you want to pitch more, if you want to rise up in the batting order, let's go out and work on it, because hard work pays off. So that understanding and connecting it to something physical in those younger years, I think really pays dividends for when they're older. It just comes natural for them to want to understand that that's the way the world works. Hard work rises to the top, and they don't gravitate towards that when it comes to, academics, because it's not something physical or tangible, but they can, I think, attach it to, hey, I mowed the lawn today, I got $15, or hey, I worked on my pitching and I struck out 7 guys in the game. You know what I'm saying? So modeling it, and also being involved with them when they are doing those physical activities. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, and you're forgetting to mention a really big thing that he's done to model for Ethan and Elijah was when our oldest son was about 10 years old. John started a group he just named Parkfit, because it was at our local park.
Awesome.
And basically it was like, look, I work out myself anyways. I'd much rather work out with other guys, other people who are also interested in that. I have some knowledge as a physical trainer from years ago, and also as an athlete. And I'm just going to put this out there. And so for the past, 9 years, and it's free. It's totally free. So
it's amazing that it's gone this long.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought it would go so, but 9 years, meeting every Monday morning and every Friday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. So 2 days a week, it's all it takes. If you're consistent with it for 9 years, I mean, that's awesome. And since we homeschool, we made it part of Ethan's PE, because I thought it was important that not only does he see me on the sidelines cheering for him, or in the dugout cheering for him, say, hey, come on, you can do it. But he needs to see what hard work really looks like.
Yes,
and so for have him working out alongside me and other men that I know and that I trust, who could pour into Ethan to be a good example, he's been around that since 9. So he's been learning how to do push-ups with grown men since he's 9, pull-ups, air squats, lunges. And he's seen men around him working hard. And now he sees his dad working hard. And so therefore he realizes, oh, that's the expectation. Okay, I can't do 10 push-ups in a row now, but I'll get there. And then now he can do more push-ups than I can,
Yeah. And I've been there. The number one, the camaraderie that's created when everyone's working toward a common goal is such a great thing for him to see. And I've noticed, like, you've got equipment. I'm sure, like, over time, maybe you've built up what you've got, but you've got, you know, quite a bit of stuff that you take with you to the park, and you can set everything up. And then when everybody shows up, you start.
We have a nice big pavilion. So even on rainy days or snowy days, we're out there. We have electricity, flip on the light. It's chilly, you know, but it's, you've been there, Dr. Devin. I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Matt, because he came quite a bit on Fridays. And Dr. Brandon, I got to give a shout out to him because he's consistent now every Monday. And so they can vouch for it too, along with Dr. Deb.
Well, I think what's really cool is that people who have, guys in particular, who have come to his group over the years, they have moved to like a different place, and then they've started their own parkfit at their local park. And then they have their, and so
it's a free franchise. I mean, come on.
We should really do something with that, but we never have. So it's just really cool. So, you know, a natural progression of that for me was, you know, 2 years ago, Elijah was, you know, coming up on 6 years old. We were homeschooling him, and I really wanted to get him involved in some sort of kids or youth fitness, you know, PE, but not really just PE, a little stronger than that. There was nothing out there for homeschool families. Maybe some video stuff, things like that, but nothing that was good, high quality, and definitely not in person. And John was like, you're a teacher. Why don't you just get certified in youth fitness, youth exercise, and then just start it yourself and call it Park Fit Kids? And I was like, yeah, why don't I do that? So I got, you know, certified, NASM certified for youth exercise, and started Park Fit Kids and Park Fit Teens 2 years ago. And we are up to, you know, I've got roughly 50 families now that I meet with, you know, every week, once a week. You know, I would love to do it more often than once a week, and they would love it too, but you know, they've got their schedules and we've got ours, and we're all homeschooling and trying to fit it all in. But it's awesome because I get to teach these families and these kids the same core values that we're teaching our kids, which basically is exercise is fun. Whether you believe it or not, it is fun to exercise. Hard work will always feel good in the end. It may not feel good when you're doing it in the moment, but when you're done with that hard work, you will feel good on the inside. And that is a really, really important. And going back to your point, Dr. Joe, about, you know, how do we get these kids off the couch? Well, I think at the beginning, you kind of have to force it.
Yeah.
And you have to give them enough of those initial experiences of what that feels like internally for their self-esteem and their self-confidence. And how does that make them feel when they have gone on that hike for two hours and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. But the truth be told, when they're done with that hike, they feel good about what they did,
right?
Especially based on how they felt about it at the beginning and whether they could do it or not. So I think,
and then they're like, when's the next hike? That was 2 miles. Can we do 2.5, 3 next time?
Right.
You're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So I think initially it really is about you as parents determining that you're convicted about it and saying, we're gonna do this. And you do have to keep it fun. You do have to keep it interesting. You know, but it doesn't have to be spectacular. You know, it doesn't have to involve, you know, some great big mountain. It doesn't have to cost money. I mean, literally just go to the park and take a walk together. Let your kids bring their scooters, not electric scooters. Sorry, this is my soapbox. Do not bring them on an electric scooter. That is doing nothing for them physically. Yes. So no electric vehicles. Have them ride a bike. Have them push themselves on a skateboard or a scooter. Have them run with you. I don't care. But get them out there and just doing something super simple. Go to the playground at the park and make an obstacle course. Like, you know,
American Ninja Warrior style.
Everybody just make up their own course. Well, okay, first I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to climb up here and then do this. that's having to engage them, mentally. They've got to remember that order of that course they're going to do. And then they physically have to carry it out. And then they evaluate, did I like that? What would I change about that? Okay, let's do a new course. I mean, it really can be that simple. And the whole family can do it. You can have the little 2-year-old toddling over there and doing their version of it. And it's all together as a family. So initially, I think, as parents, you may have to force it. Like worst case scenario, you'd have to force it. But best case scenario is your kids are trying to drag you off the couch. Yeah. So if you're hearing that kind of thing from your kids, then absolutely get up, get out there. And even if you can't keep up with them completely, at least walk with them, at least be with them, moving with them.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. When that just struck a nerve when you said that, your kids are asking. So, think about it. For those of you who have kids that are not asking you, there was a time when they did.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then they stopped asking because they became complacent. They were maybe told to sit and watch TV because we're too busy with our adult lives, getting caught up in the monotony that really, I mean, in the scheme of things, and I say this with an air of caution, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Keep the big things big. Your kids, your family, your relationship with God. These are the things that are important. And you're not raising children, you're raising adults. And I've said it for years. You show your kids how to be a good adult by being a good adult or the kind of adult that they should want to follow after, right? So you're leaving imprints every step of the way. And Ruthie, one of the things that I love that you do with your ParkFit kids is you're teaching. I mean, you truly are a teacher, and you'll get them learning something while they're doing some type of athletic, motions. Yeah. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. So
absolutely. Right. Yeah.
It can happen. You could get two things done at once.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of my favorite things to teach at ParkFit Kids is, the cardiovascular system and how does it work in its very basic form? How does it work? And why does that have anything to do with our fitness? And it's really important that kids understand, first of all, what is a vigorous exercise? How is that different from walking or, working in the yard? Those are not vigorous exercises. Those are still great things to do, but what makes an exercise vigorous? And so we talk about that 5 signs of a vigorous exercise. You're sweating, your face is red, you're working hard, you're getting tired, and heavy breathing. And so they learn to look for those 5 things as we're doing our workouts together in class. They learn to evaluate when did they feel those 5 things going on? And then we talk about, well, why do you feel those things? Why is your breathing speeding up? Why is your heart rate speeding up? Well, here's what's happening. As you're taking in the oxygen, it's coming in, it's going to your lungs, and it's waiting there for the blood to come from your heart, pick it up, and deliver that oxygen to your muscles. And it only delivers oxygen to the muscles that are working. So, we talk about that, and then we act it out, and yeah, it's so fun because they are making those connections. One of my kids came up to me at the end of one of those days we were acting out and that cardiovascular system. And he's like, I was the fastest red blood cell out there, because part of the exercise was you're the cell. You got to pretend you're the cell delivering the oxygen to where it goes, so they had to do like high skips, to their muscle and deliver that oxygen. So I love the fact that they are at the very basic level, they're understanding why their body feels the way it does while they're exercising and what are the benefits of making your body do that. How is that going to benefit you today? And we definitely talk about how does that benefit you, your longevity and your quality of life. Your heart muscle is super important. And if you don't exercise it, it's not going to just keep working all on its own. It will get, So it is fun. It's really fun passing that along to them and seeing them excited about working out.
And we haven't asked you this, so I'm going to put you on the spot live. But June, we're doing movement month in June. and we're going to have a whole challenge in the practice. And John, you talked to me about this about 3 years ago, and I'm actually doing it now. So
we're good. Hey, you know what? You just,
we're actually going to do so the whole month. We'll explain it to you later, guys.
Awesome.
It's really cool. So we'd love to have you guys involved in that.
Whatever you need, we'd love to serve and get back and teach.
All the patients are going to get pedometers. We're going to have a contest. We're going to have a walk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We'll have prizes every week for the winners. So we're going to have literally like some cool stuff. So we're literally good. We're going all out for it because I want people to get out there and start kicking it off and getting busy. And it's June, right? Or something.
Yes, June, especially after this past year that we had even people who were active before all the shutdowns. A lot of those people, even though well-intentioned and saying, I'm going to keeping on in my own house, it just got really easy to fall off the bandwagon.
And it creates community. And what this last year showed us more than anything is that community was that thing that we kind of talked about, that we knew was kind of important, but we took for granted. But now we're like, oh my goodness, I miss community. And physical fitness is a great way to bring about community, and so to get you're like-minded people, you're in close proximity with one another, and you're going after the same thing. That's community.
Exactly.
You might do a little bit more work than the person next to you, or less work, but you know what? You feel the same at the beginning. You feel the same at the end. You're tired. You start at the same place. You end at the same place. You high five, or if you're not into high fives in COVID season, you kind of air five, I guess. But that's one thing that we have found, that my parkfit group, and then her parkfit kids and teens, it's just really cool to sit back and go, there's a community of fitness, of growing fitness enthusiasts. It's really cool to know that you're doing something that they're hopefully going to remember. Oh, well, when they're teenagers or have their kids of their own. Oh, I remember when Coach Ruthie would say this, or I remember when Coach John would say that, and
it's a legacy. Really.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is what are we leaving behind? That our kids are going to take with them, and that's really going to change their lives. And so creating in our family, it's just really important that we're creating some healthy habits and healthy rhythms to our life that are becoming so natural to our boys, so that as they, we have one about to go off to college next semester, and our hope is that as he's there, those rhythms some of them will still remain the same, and he'll know to drink a lot of water, and to get a lot of sleep, have a protein drink after I work out, like just some of the really important things about health, diet. I mean, we didn't even get into diet, but obviously fuel for your fitness matters. But just, that's our legacy, because they don't care about what clothes we buy them, what toys we buy them, what movies we watch. What really matters, what's really going to follow them in their lives, we hope, is their love for God and their respect and love for the gift that God has given them, which is their bodies. And that's what we really want them, to take with them. And I know we have to end. I do want to encourage the moms out there who need some practicality to plug into their life. It is so possible. All you need to do is get on the same page with if you have if you're married, get on the same page with your husband, get on the same page with your kids. You need to sit down. I mean, that's accountability, when you sit down and tell your kids, hey, mommy wants to exercise and mommy's going to exercise. You now just made yourself accountable to your kids. So I would encourage you to do that, first of all. But figure out what's a good time. If you work out in the morning, then you've got to plan for that, and you have to escape. Remember, escape, go do it. While you're doing it, you will feel a release. And by the time you get home, you will be refueled. So it's an escape, it's a release, and it's a refuel. And it works every single time. I can leave so stressed out, and when I come back, I'm completely different. Some things like how I cook dinner. So I specifically plan when my boys are at baseball practice, I could go and sit at the field and watch them. Well, or I could get up, leave the field. They're with their coaches. They're under his care. So I can go get my exercise done. And I don't have to miss out on quality time with my kids, because by the time they're done with practice, mom's done with her workout, and we come back together as a family. So I really try and plan my workout specifically so that I'm not necessarily taking away from time with the family. If I'm cooking dinner, I make sure I cook dinner certain nights of the week, but other nights of the week, I'm doing leftovers on purpose because my best time to work out for me personally is right before dinner time. And so on the nights I'm cooking leftovers, that's when mom's out of the house. I'm doing my workout so that I can pop back into the house. He's already starting to heat up leftovers, putting it on the table. It's a tag team effort. Mom got her workout in. Everybody has a home cooked meal. We're good to go. So there are certain things that make it really possible to make that escape and release and refuel. It just takes a little bit of forethought, but it is so well worth it.
I think we've all heard the quote, plan to succeed or plan to fail.
That's right.
Right? Planning is key. We talk about this all the time. Your day does not start when you wake up in the morning. It starts before you go to bed. Right? So think about ways that you guys can put this into action, everyone who's watching.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't want to say that it's not difficult to try to squeeze something in that you're not already doing. But if you can plan it in a way that it actually works with a schedule that you already have, I promise you, sleeping in an extra 30 minutes is not going to make you feel better. But getting out and moving will, and doing it with your kids in a way that, and making it fun is a way that not only makes all of you better right now, but it makes you better forever. And they take this with them forever for the rest of their lives. Absolutely. You can't get this time back.
Thank you guys.
Really simple.
Yeah.
Thank you for being such great role models, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And
thank you guys.
Thank you,
help us be who we are.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
For sure.
And I want to tell you, you got two fans here. Dr. Brandon saying parkfit 7 a.m. Mondays. And Dr. Matt saying, I miss parkfit.
We miss you, Dr.
Yeah, we miss you too, Dr. Matt. Good to hear from you. Oh, I mean, it's free, it's fun, it's outside, it's year round. Anybody's welcome to come, regardless of abilities. 7 a.m. at Bogan Park every Monday morning, 7 a.m. at Bogan Park every Friday morning. We were out there this morning.
Awesome.
So anybody wants to come on out.
And, to talk into what this whole conversation has been about, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, you never know how far-reaching something you say, think, or do today can affect the lives of millions tomorrow. And you guys have made a tremendous ripple for many to follow your lead for years to come. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Thanks for letting us share our story.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Thank you, guys. Put that off. All right, guys. So we will see you next Monday as we get together and talk about our next pillar with the Fransons. I'm super excited to have them on.
It's gonna be great.
So we'll see everybody next time. Have a great week.